And we are live. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Shaneology. And these two guys are my best friends on YouTube. We got Fanatics of Film on the bass. They're my band, guys. And on the drums, you got DBS, who is Luke Skywalker right now. So how's everyone doing in the after the apocalypse?
Yeah, DBS, good job on the plastic surgery. You look great. You look just like Mark Hamill when he was young. That was good job.
Yeah, it's good.
You're like, I worked really hard, and even the Vader mask, they put a plastic Vader mask and they infused it into my skin, so that's real. They just walk around like that. That's great. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. I find
How
myself
you guys spending your time you're being quarantined.
I work from home, and I'm pretty much home all the time. Anytime I move about, it's to get to the store. And it was actually kind of interesting. It's funny to see whenever you're at the grocery store, just like most people are just like, "Oh, get away! It's a person! Whoa!" It's like, you know what I mean? It's everybody's terrified of one another now.
Yeah.
And it's that if they want to evoke fear in each other, they accomplished it. Good job, mainstream media, you bastards. And I think that's kind of a weird thing, but it was actually like refreshing. The guy at the checkout counter was just like, "Hey, let me help you." Like he was just like, "F it." Like I'm not gonna. What's the point in trying to be this paranoid, delusional idiot when he was just like helpful and when I'm trying to carry all this stuff, I'm just grateful to have water. I think one of the biggest things to take away here is that we get to take a moment and go, "I'm grateful for this stuff."
Yeah, it's kind of weird because you got both things happening at the same time. You got the extreme. I feel like you got the extremists on both ends. You got the people who are nuts that you go out in hazmat suits and walk out with like a 20-foot pole, making sure that you stay as far away from them as possible.
Like how I
Yeah, and then you got the other people who just like don't give a crap. They'll just walk. They'll just like go in the meat department, and and just start hemorrhaging all over the meat, like that happened to me today. I was like, there's an in between medium where you either where you could be a civilized person, where you don't have to be like crazy on either end. You could just maybe not go to the meat department when everyone's crazy about the food and just start hemorrhaging and spewing your mucus all over even on a normal day. That's not acceptable. But like especially like the guy had like a mask and he just even like have it off and he was like like even just put it on if you're gonna hurl. If you're gonna spew into this.
The supermarkets in my area, they're putting up this clear plastic curtain around the cashier, with a little opening where you could collect money and stuff.
Like a dome. Or
yeah,
it's literally like a temporary makeshift dome that they just like shunk and they put over the top of the
Yeah, like a shower curtain, but a little bit higher. And it's clear plastic.
If it helps, man, and this once again, I'm sorry to say it, and I'm going to say it once, and then we'll be done with it because I'm not here to fear base. I'm not here to fear bait, but the guy. One of my students, he says he knows doctors, and they're just like, yeah, next week it's going to be like a science fiction movie. Like the hospitals are going to be like just full, and there's going to be room for nobody because there's going to be like literally all the hospitals will be overwhelmed. So, and apparently this video that we just watched. So if anybody wants to check themselves, apparently what you do, you hold your breath for 10 seconds. Isn't that right, you guys?
Yes.
So you hold your breath for 10 seconds, and then. If you can hold your breath for 10 seconds and then not cough, you're in the clear. I guess that's what they were saying. This is I'm not sure that we didn't get this from Dr. Phil, so we don't know if it's real. But
do you have to breathe in? I don't remember. Do you have to breathe in, or do you just hold it at random? Like do you have to go and then breathe in, or just breathe in, or just hold it?
DBS, do you remember what he said there?
Or breathe out and hold it.
Not sure. You hold it for, I know, all I remember is you hold it for 10 seconds. And after that, if you don't cough or feel discomfort, you're all right.
So that's a good way to test. If anyone's listening, that's a good way to test, just to make sure that you would be in the clear. Like, because that's one of the things that's really important, and that's what was one of the biggest things that was illustrated in that. And I know, I'm sorry, everybody, I keep referring back to that Joe Rogan podcast, but it is valuable information if it's real. If this guy knows what he's talking about, and it seems like he does. He says specifically that you just have to because it's transmittable, even though you have no idea if you have it. That's the problem. Is that you could be literally like transmitting it and giving it to people, even though you don't even feel sick at all. Like you could be literally you could be the anyway, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's the main difference between this virus and SARS and a lot of the other ones, is that you can have it for 2 weeks and feel and not even know it. You have no symptoms at all, and then you be passing it around to everybody else. And then that's what makes it such it's almost impossible to stop that way. I mean, how do you stop something you don't know that you have, and then you can't ask everyone is going to stay indoors. And it's not going to happen, because human nature is human nature. And like I said, you always have extremes. You always have people who are overly paranoid and people who are overly careless. And it's like, Apollo Patriot, I'm going to acknowledge the people of Apollo Patriot. You were the first here. Thank you very much. Wookiee Supremacy. I know he loves coming to my streams and talking crazy. Black Hat Cinephile, welcome back, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for coming to our little stream here.
We love you guys. We love you guys. Thanks for hanging, you guys. We love all of you. Thanks.
Paulo Pitch says, in Russia, did you hear that the military is involved in the country, no room in hospitals? Well, it doesn't surprise me that Russia goes military.
Dude, I'm wondering. That's interesting. That's crazy. I'm going to look that up here. Let's see. What's up, dude? Black Hat, everybody. Thanks for coming. Do you want to move on from that, or do you want to continue? I mean, there's this new thing. I mean, Spider-Man 3 there's announcements, and then there's like Venom 2. Did you guys like the original Venom movie?
It was take it or leave it for me.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't. It was kind of like, I think the execution of it was sort of lacking for me. I thought there were parts that I really liked, but I also for me, Venom isn't Venom if Spider-Man isn't in it. That's just the way I feel. I don't like that they changed his backstory without including the inclusion of a Spider-Man. I just feel like you need Spider-Man for for Venom to make sense, and that was just sort of my only gripe with it. Hey, hello, Fatal J and Kermit and K-Log. Thank you for joining, guys.
I like Venom just slightly more than Shaney.
I thought it was fun. I think I'm gonna have to. I want to hear what you have to say, but I just wanted to say, I think it was kind of ruined for me because I went with a good friend who loves the Venom comics, loves Spider-Man, and we were all into it. We were interested, but there was a lady right next to us who was laughing the entire time, and I think she ruined the freaking movie for me because it was like the first time you experience something, if someone's laughing at everything, she's like over the top. Anyway. So what did you like best about the movie at DBS?
Oh, the action.
Yeah, it's good.
Him throwing people around. The security detail, that one lab, that one guy, the villain. Yeah, all the killing. It was good.
I mean, it was like ridiculously short, and it was I think we have images of Venom and Carnage. If you guys want to look at it, I've got it pulled up.
I have all I have the Venom comics and the original ones with Carnage. I thought Carnage was a great villain. I thought the fact that they had the Spider-Man and Venom, who are just mortal enemies, had to team up just because this guy was just too powerful to get him. I thought was a great storyline. Something that Marvel kind of needs more of.
Yeah, it's interesting this whole Venom verse because, and you have to forgive, I haven't read all these comics, but I think they're incredibly intriguing, and they just kept going darker. There's Carnage, and then anyway. But so it says here, obviously, it's unknown if the Carnage images are legit. But the first pick looks like it's possible. It possibly might be, as it shows what looks to be the hand of Carnage behind a cage. Let me pull this guy down here. But it looks pretty sweet. If I can, that looks pretty badass.
Yeah, I mean, my only problem is Sony. I'm still not sold on Sony. I still think Sony doesn't have all their all their shit together, to be honest with you. I think they learned a bit from Marvel, but I also think that the stuff they learned from Marvel might not be Marvel doesn't seem to be heading down the right road either, or Disney, that is. Sorry. And so it's like the blind leading the blind at this point. I don't know.
Fatal Jason.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, no, I apologize, and I want to talk about that too because it's interesting how they're going to be intertwining those few things. Fatal J says, "I love the original Venom movie. I enjoyed it too, and it was like I said, I had this lady who just kind of ruined it for me. But upon the second viewing and everything, it was really fun. It was a fun movie. I enjoyed the story, and it's obviously very different. We have to always kind of internalize it differently when we read it in the comics, of course, and we just have to kind of figure out: is it a good story? Is it a good this? Is it good that?" But yeah, apparently this universe is going to be like, of course, the Sony universe. Morbius is not in the MCU. I'm sure everybody knows that, but just FYI, Morbius won't be in the MCU, but he'll be in this Sinister Six type of environment. Yeah. So this could be potentially pretty amazing, kind of like what they're doing with the Joker. I mean, if the Joker 2 has been announced, that it will happen. But I'm sure there won't be Batman, so it'll just be like probably just a universe of villains in the 80s, which is actually really intriguing to me. That's actually really exciting to hear. But I could see that happening here too, where we have just Venom as your anti-hero and literally just everybody else. You got all your other Spider-Man people, and I don't really care about Tom Holland's Spider-Man actually at all. So that's just me personally. I'm not a fan of it. So having Tom Hardy run this universe sounds fun to me.
Well, I've always said that my problem isn't with my problem isn't with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. My problem is not with his Peter Parker. My problem is with his Spider-Man. He's the best Peter Parker we've seen, but he's one of the worst Spider-Mans we've seen, because he's supposed to have two personalities, right? Spider-Man is when he's Peter Parker. He's an unsure kid who doesn't know what he's doing. He's kind of floundering around, his life and making mistakes and stuff. But when he's Spider-Man, he's self-assured. He's a different personality. He's cocky, confident. It's like he puts on the mask and becomes something different. And it's like they don't differentiate the two. He's Peter Parker. He's that same kid that's, oh my God, what are we doing? Where am I here? Well, he's still acting like that same stupid little naive kid, whether he has the mask on or not. And it's not who he's supposed to be.
Yeah,
but that's my biggest gripe with Spider-Man in the MCU.
Yeah, I think
Andrew gets his ass from Iron Man too often. They totally got rid of the Uncle Ben storyline, which drives me up the wall because it's like they took out Uncle Ben and replaced it with Tony Stark. But that's not how his storyline goes. He doesn't kiss ass to Tony Stark, for everything in the comics. In fact, they made it like his motivation was to kiss, to be. His hero, Tony Stark, but his hero was Uncle Ben, and that's why he did it. Anyway, sorry for the long-winded discussion.
No, forgive me. No, I was just laughing at something that K-Log said. No, not at all. I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I think I mean, everybody made fun of the Woody Harrelson wig at the end of Venom, but here we are with his new cut here, so... him playing a serial killer again. I mean, does everybody remember Natural Born Killers? Yeah, no. So that's fun. But no, so go ahead.
Yeah, no, him will be fine. I think he's a fine choice. It's just weird. It's just weird. I find it odd that they're going to so many different. I want them to tie it in. I just find it weird that Spider-Man's not part of it. That's just my thing. I don't know why. I just feel like.
Yeah, having the ultimate good guy, having Spider-Man in there is kind of it's like having. Yeah, man, it's like having Darth Vader without Luke Skywalker. It's kind of like having your, it is kind of weird.
Like you said before, it's like Joker. It's like having. It's like okay, it'd be like having a DC making a movie with like Lex Luthor team up with Joker and team up with Black Manta and not have the heroes, just not have them in there at all. You know, and that's sort of like at some point you want the heroes because I understand we liked the build. I loved Joker. Joker was a fantastic film, but I don't think I could tolerate another Joker film without Batman in it. I'm sorry, I just can't.
Yeah, sure.
You know, at some point Batman has to come in, right? I mean, you'd assume that you can't have one without the other. Joker doesn't exist without Batman in his universe. You know, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, that's my belief.
We're lucky.
Hello, Jack Skywalker. How's it going? Thank you for coming.
So we'll be lucky if they show Alfred, at least, in Joker 2.
You're saying that they will?
So I know. I said we'd be lucky if they show Alfred.
Right. Well, so for me personally, I think that they should keep building because it's one. I think there's just so much disarray in this SJW menace that everybody's involved with. So like, and we're finally realizing, like K-Log's been saying all this time, we're finally realizing, okay, yeah, masculinity matters. Yeah, screw this bull BS like on the surface crap that we've been dealing with for like the last 5 to 10 years. Let's screw all that. Realness matters. Your actual abilities really matter. And so I think that ultimately, if we get with a Joker 2 that's just, you know, just kicks ass and we have like a Riddler or a Penguin involved or someone else that's realistic and down to earth and weird and in that universe, I think I'd be happy with that. And then, you know, bringing in Batman later if they need to. But yeah, it's kind of weird. It's disjunct. It's very disjunct. It's like they can't unite anything at this point. They're just literally building 2 separate universes within DC, or at least that's what it seems like that they're going with. So anyway,
which is fine. I mean, I've always said you can have 2 separate universes. I mean, DC Comics has multiple universes in it, so you can do that. It's fine. I don't see why you can't have multiple universes within a film series. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you know, there's like, but at some point they have to somewhat make sense, right? You can't. That's my biggest thing is at some point. Venom looking like Spider-Man, having all of Spider-Man's powers, doesn't make sense if Spider-Man's not in it. I mean, why does he climb up the walls? Why does he shoot out of his... You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All these things at some point... Okay, so there he is, my enemy, Shane Entertaining, Eric Palpatine. How's it going, bud? Eric Palpatine, we know who that is. That's everything Star Wars. How's it going, my friend? Black Hat Cinephile says... it's the other way around for me. He's the best Spider-Man, but never seen Peter Parker be that cringy, pathetic, even before the powers. I don't know. What's his name? Peter Parker was pretty cringy, don't you think? Tobey Maguire. I mean, he was constantly... he kind of reminded me of Pat from SNL. Do you remember Pat from SNL?
Uh-huh.
Tobey Maguire was? Dude, that's funny that you say that. I've heard the opposite from most people. Most people think Tobey Maguire was like the definitive, but no, you think he's just absolutely no way, huh?
He was so whiny. I found him like he was just always like, Manty May. I couldn't. I just didn't. Maybe it's just me. I just didn't like his personality. For like, I'm saying, yeah, he could be a nerd, but he felt like Leonard from Big Bang, like too much of a nerd. Like, oh, I'm a nerd guy. Like, with my glasses, with my pocket protector. Like, that's who he kind of reminded. I mean, that's just my take. You know, he's like, we get it, you're a nerd. Like, I'm so awkward around girls.
But I don't know. To me, I mean, that was the idea of what Peter Parker is. He's kind of a nerd. But these images are pretty.
But he wasn't. I don't think he was nerdy in that way. Like he was smart, but I don't recall him.
Right.
And I'm like I said, Tobey Maguire's a kid, so I like the fact that they brought a kid into it, so it kind of looks like sorry, not Tobey Maguire, Kevin Holland, or Tom Holland. He's a kid, so he kind of like his sort of look at the world is different than Tobey Maguire, who was kind of a little older, right? But as Spider-Man, though, is really where I'm judging it, because Spider-Man is that's where I have my problem with both Tobey Maguire. That's where I had my problem mostly with was within Spider-Man. Like, be cocky, be confident, be quippy, and stop giving yourself away. No one knew who Spider-Man was most people thought Spider-Man was a man. You know, because because of how he comported himself. He didn't walk around going, "Remember this movie?" and give his age away every time he opened his mouth. And it was just like that's my biggest problem. Anyway, I digress. I'm not convincing a soul on this argument.
Yeah, it's a kind of a silly thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so I'm psyched for this. I mean, we're developing villain universes now, right? We got a Joker universe, we've got a Venom universe, and potentially they've been talking about doing Sinister Six for many years. And so I'm curious, and I'm cautiously optimistic, as they say. So, yeah.
Well, I'm not optimistic about anything that comes out of Hollywood.
Yeah,
nothing.
Well, it's going to be weird for the next year because all production's halting, right? So it's going to be weird to see. There's going to be like a couple of years where we don't get. There's going to be not very much. So I think we're going to see probably maybe an upturn in demand. Maybe I have no idea, but it's going to be interesting to see like how much delay of everything. Like everything's halted right now. So all production on stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be the tell of the world. What happens after the corona? After the virus. The whatever. The pansexual virus, the pan. That's who I thought we were talking about. The pansexual virus. After the pandemic, I feel like that. I feel like that's we're gonna figure out how the hell the world's gonna actually work. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, I don't know. Countries are gonna probably go bankrupt. I don't know. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane. With the bill, it's just gonna be nuts at the end of it. It's gonna be a scary thought, and it'll kill. I mean, we've talked about this. Look at the comic industry. Look at what's happening in Marvel. Did you see their new X-Men they just put out?
I didn't see it,
not the new Warriors, the new X-Men.
I didn't see it, but I know it. I've heard about it. I haven't seen it yet though, but I've heard about it.
It's like they're so tone deaf. In that video that I was watching, they talk about how, we have these new take on the X-Men.
Is it the Atom, the Children of the Atom, or something like that? Isn't that what it's called?
I'm not sure what it's. It was just all I know is the characters that the girls were talking about was like they were so unique and modern and so wonderful, and I'm like, so you made what do you call it, female versions of male characters, and that makes it somehow unique and different. It was just like, what are you guys doing? They made what's his name, Gambit, a woman of color, and suddenly that's like the same outfit, just a woman of color, and suddenly that's new, and they've lost their dang minds. I tell you.
I have it queued up. Do you want to pull that up?
Yeah, sure, man.
It's up to you if you want to. I mean, you brought it up, so I'm just I'm just bringing them up as you go.
Yeah, bring it up. I don't.
I've got it right here.
Let's get nuts.
Let's get friggin' nuts. So this is the Children of the Atom here, guys. So we won't like watch the actual video, but that's it.
Yeah, that's the one. See, you got so unique. Wow, Gambit is a woman now. That's unique. That's all the difference there. That's what the creativity of Marvel is.
And it's silly too because I want to explain to them. You do realize that people that are oppressed don't want this. They don't want this. They don't want tokenized bullshit. So anyway, it's weird. Let's see what else.
It's true. They don't.
It's kind of silly.
But when you listen to them talk about it, that's what's tone deaf. They act like this is like this unique new direction they're taking. They're taking the X-Men like as if the X-Men weren't already diverse. The X-Men had a guy in a wheelchair, had plenty of diverse characters. It was nothing, it was already talking about racism and that kind of stuff. What new is this? Was this actually giving to the series? Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty silly. I haven't seen this trailer yet, but I heard it was once again. These are this is the type of mentality people have there, and it's like they're not the ones dying. Okay, so this is, I know that everybody's talking about this, but I think we should bring it up just briefly. So comic book stores are going to die from this. They're going to flounder. They're going to die, and literally we have everybody up on top going, oh, look at how great we are at writing and everything, but they have no way to get this stuff to the people, right? And so that's essentially what's happening here. The entire industry is collapsing underneath them. So it's like they have nothing, they're building this, oh, look at all this foundation we have to build off of, but they're building off this foundation that meanwhile everything is it's a goddamn earthquake, like my life right now. Like my whole life has been basically just, my whole life has been earthquake after earthquake in the last 2 weeks. I've been nothing, I might as well just, start digging underground and just head for the Earth's core, because that's where I'm headed anyway.
So you're talking about that earthquake, right? Is that like the one that's man-made?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Let's move on from that. So, well, I mean, apparently, let's go.
It's like you got these man-made earthquakes now around. It's in Utah, right? You've been getting these man-made earthquakes.
So according to what we've done a little bit of research. Everybody in the chat, if you guys if you're familiar with this, apparently, and I just pulled up this article: Utah researchers diagnose man-made earthquakes. So, in case anybody's curious, I live in Utah, and
what's your address? Everyone could come see you.
Yeah, it's You want to get nuts? Come get me. I got a gun. Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts.
Well, I mean, it's funny too, because they built Salt Lake City, which is the capital of it. They built it right on the fault line, and like the entire freeway system, everything. It's like, oh, there's the fault line. Let's build over that. Here's the fault line. It's so ridiculous.
I remember they used to mine. There's some abandoned mines there too.
They're just, I mean, they built initially, they didn't know, because that's when they first came here, when the first settlers came here, they built it, and it was like they had no idea. But then they stemmed from there and just kept it right along with the fault line. So it's like we're screwed. It's if like Yellowstone turns into a giant volcano, which is what it is. If Yellowstone explodes, like we saw in that 2012 movie or whatever, with Woody Harrelson going yeehaw, down the whatever. And if that does happen, we're gonna be lava.
Isn't that dude? It's like that's Old Yeller, isn't it? Or that's Old Faithful. Isn't that Old Faithful? Old Yeller. Old Faithful, right? I'm Canadian, guys, so
So Old Yeller is a super dog that can shoot Old Faithful spewing acid, sulfur-induced water out of his mouth, and it burns people and kills them.
Nice.
Old Yeller burns Old Faithful.
Yes. That's a real thing. That should be like an evil super dog against Superman's dog, right?
Share my screen real quick. I've been notice I've been quiet through this live stream. I've been quiet through this live stream because I'm working on this meme. Hopefully it doesn't get me banned on Twitter. You think it's too hard? It's too hardcore?
No, that's great, man. I love it. That looks great.
She's just getting involved. She's just another celebrity who's looking out for our best interests by getting proactive.
All these people licking toilets has got me.
That she's like us.
So if anyone, just in case anybody doesn't know, I'm sure you guys in the chat know, but anybody watching this on the replay, whatever, just in case you don't know, I mean, people are licking toilets as the coronavirus challenge to see if they can catch it on a freaking toilet. When they have articles coming out in the New York Times, screw the New York Times, but articles coming out saying that please abstain from rimming people. Anyway,
when you see stuff like that, I'm like, I gotta say that I'm on Team Thanos. Like that stuff leads me to Team Thanos more than anything. I see that, I'm like, can we snap? Can we use this? I want to snap. Like, there's at least start with them. Start with Hollywood. Did you see what's her name? Madonna sitting in the bathtub. You know, I'm just like you, everybody, sitting in milk with like petals of flowers and candles.
Is that what I haven't watched it.
Like, Madonna's like this. Hi, I'm Madonna. Remember me? No one does. No one knows that horrifying face. What is this?
I haven't.
I'm sorry, but that looks prettier than Madonna.
Dude, I haven't watched that. I loved Madonna growing up as a kid, but now she's just a crazy person. That's actually funny that you say that. I haven't watched that video yet. Have you guys all watched that? I haven't even seen it.
No, I haven't seen
That's
it.
hilarious.
I actually teased the idea of dressing up as Skeletor and actually getting in the bathtub and going, you know, and doing like a satire on that video. But I was like, just to say, I'm like you all. I like to sit in milk and push my breasts up against my knees.
Dude, that would be so amazing. You should do. Oh my gosh, you would get that. Would go. It could go viral. Dude, you should totally do that. I'm not joking. I'm not freaking.
Skeletor needs to redo all the memes that the celebrities are doing.
Everybody in the chat, give us an F if you think you want Shaney to do Skeletor in the milk bathtub parody of Madonna. Give us yes, do it. Sentinel says do it. We just need you to help that video go viral. So just make sure to help us with that, dude. I would I would tweet the hell out of that. That would be amazing if you did that. Hell yes, that would be incredible. I know. Sorry, I'm setting you up for a lot of work. Sorry, that's probably a little bit of work to do, but I think it'd be funny.
What work is that? I just put in the costume, sit in the bathtub, and just talk shit.
Just, you know what you should do?
I almost did it. I was going to do it. I don't know.
You should get really drunk and just fucking do run it. Just run the tape and just get really drunk and just be like, Madonna used to, I don't know, whatever. You can even make
a video with Skeletor doing the Corona test, just like licking the toilet.
Look, Skeletor, I don't care. Look, I don't even have a tongue.
Yes, that is a great dude. And you should start off the video with Skeletor licking the toilet. So you're in the restroom, right? Okay, and then you're like, doing this. Sorry, I can't do the Skeletor voice, but you're like, I'm doing the Skeletor. I'm doing the coronavirus to the COVID challenge. And then just jump in the milk, and then people anyway. That would be hilarious, dude. I would freaking love that.
All right, you guys, I will do it for you guys.
Oh my goodness, that would go. Oh, that would be amazing.
I'll do it. It could have. I mean, I know probably Mickey wouldn't be as funny, but I thought Mickey was like, "Oh, look at me in the damn toilet." I don't know, but maybe Mickey does the toilet thing, and
dude, you should shoot them both, and then you should shoot them both and see which one you could. You could do them all, and then have them all singing like Imagine, a new version of Imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, Mickey should sing Imagine. That would just be funnier if she's just singing.
We need to rewrite.
Imagine all my millions. I bet you can't because your asses are poor.
So would you like a Minnie Mouse to lick a toilet? Could do that for you.
Minnie Mouse is looking at the toilet. What did you say, DBS? What did you say, DBS?
Shaney, would you like a Minnie Mouse to lick a toilet? You could.
Me? Yes.
Okay. I'll get on that.
Dude, that would. Oh my gosh, that's just so good. Like, and so we do have to. We do have to rewrite Imagine, and do Imagine all the celebrities leaving us the hell alone. That's the name of the song.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And we'll just leaving us the hell alone. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm just so curious. We are witnessing history.
We Are the World.
Absolutely.
We Are the World.
Yeah.
We should do a We Are the World, like all these like YouTubers, and like I could just like we'll do celebrity guests just singing, like I said, I could do Skeletor singing, and we just have like, we are the world, we don't want your input. Hollywood should shut the hell up and
and go fuck yourself and get bent. Yeah,
people are dying, no one gives a fuck about you.
Dude, if we could, the lyrics are the big thing. That like takes forever. It's like you have to nail the lyrics, and then that's the longest part. The music is easy to do. I can record that in a day. We just need to write the lyrics. So that sounds awesome. That sounds a great idea.
One of the lyrics would be, "Keep your opinion to yourself, you privileged douchebag."
So Sentinel says, imagine all the celebrities shutting the fuck up. You. That's how it's gonna be. That's what we're gonna do. I'm still working on that goddamn Kathleen Kennedy shame video. The problem is that it has the audio. I need to replace all the audio because otherwise it will get demonetized. Dude, K-Log, yeah,
K-Log
hell
wants
yeah.
to write the lyric.
Dude, let's do it. I'm not kidding. Let's do it and do it because I can record the music. If we need to re-record anything, let's do it. Let's put it together.
Hey, we
let's
can
make
do it together. Why don't we do it together? Let's do it. Let's stream it and do it together.
Let's
come
do it.
out. Let's make this fun. Let's do it on a stream.
I think it'd be awesome. You want to do a live stream and then write the lyrics live on a live stream?
Yeah. Why not? Why not? Let's do it. I think that could be fun.
Yeah.
And then we could have input from the people. Everyone could talk and give the little input. We'd have fun doing that. That's what I think.
Or if K-Log says he's going to write one, if he comes up with some tonight, then it'll be done, one and done.
Yeah.
And that's two. Wait. So there's the Imagine. I'm trying to think if there's another song. No, We Are the World. So We Are the World and Imagine. So those are both two iconic songs. Oh, it's so funny.
The Sentinel wants to do it now. Let's do it. Do it now.
Do it. Okay.
Do it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Really quick.
Let's pull up the lyrics. Okay.
Okay.
You want to pull up the lyrics?
Yeah. Let's.
Why
do
not?
Imagine lyrics.
Let's get nuts.
And you know what's so funny too, but especially with the Imagine lyrics, dude. Oh my god. It's actually like a really when I was growing up as a kid, it's everybody every piano player, everyone who's learning to play piano. Look, I can play Imagine, and it was always this thing. But it's funny to think about what the lyrics are actually saying. They're actually kind of freaky. I got them right here. So let's see. Let's go here. Where did it go? Exactly.
Imagine that. There you go.
All right. So everything is just with this new laptop. It's really bizarre. Okay.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Okay. So.
That's a terrifying existence.
So heaven would have to be replaced by a location, right? If we were going to do that.
Okay, so imagine there's no Hollywood.
It's easy if you try.
I mean, that's probably a little bit too syllabic for our current space to fit that in, but I don't know. This takes forever. Lyrics are hard, man.
Well, you
Lyrics
can remove a letter. You can remove a word. Imagine no Hollywood. Imagine no No, that doesn't work.
Imagine there.
It doesn't work.
Imagine no Hollywood. Yeah, it's just weird. It's a weird. I need to listen to the song real quick.
Does Hollywood have a nickname other than Hollywood? Tinseltown.
Imagine no celebs.
Yeah.
Imagine no woman. It's easy if you try.
So I think I agree with you, DBS. I agree with you, but we should build to that because, like Shane was saying,
imagine there's no wokeness.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just writing this down here. So imagine there's no wokeness. These are just temporary. We just have to make it like something that pulls. I don't know. It's always lyrics are always hard because everybody has a different opinion on what lyrics should be. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. So we could literally have. We could literally keep some, the second half of that fine.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be Hollywood because we don't hate Hollywood. We just hate people in Hollywood. So we could say, imagine no celebs. It's easy if you try. No one below us.
Yeah,
no celebrities are high. I don't know. Anyway, you guys, we can do this later. You guys want to do this another
I told
time?
you.
This is hard. This is harder than we expected.
Its lyrics are hard, man. Any song that I write, I rewrite like 8 times. I'm not kidding. Lyrics are hard to write. Imagine there's no whammon. Dude, Sentinel says there's there's no whammon. That's a good. I like that. but then it seems like you're being a misogynist.
Imagine saying the Me Too movement.
But then you're making yourself out to be like So you have to be like, imagine there's no feminism. Like that's what I would say. That's the first thing that comes to mind for me.
Imagine no feminism. Yeah, it's easy if you try. No bitches.
Imagine
us.
Imagine there's no Kathleen. Imagine there's no Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, we could do that just about Star Wars. Imagine there was no Johnson. It's easy if you try. No one to kill Luke.
You could even start
the lyrics.
You could even start with Star Wars. You could even say something like, imagine if they didn't mess up Star Wars. There's a million different directions. It's just tough. But yeah, like you were saying, I think we should substitute places for, and it's like, imagine there's no Hollywood sign or something like that. Like or a place, imagine, anyway.
Actually, what you said, it's kind of on the nose. We could use Hollywood as like just the overall subject matter, but we don't actually have to mention Hollywood. We could mention things in Hollywood. Like we could say, imagine there's no Disney, Imagine there's no Disney. It's easy if you try.
That's perfect. I like that. I like that right away. Okay, so what's the first? Okay, the first lyric is, imagine there's no heaven.
Hey, Wookie, how's it going?
Yeah, we're just doing boring stuff. We're doing lyrics.
Yeah, we're trying to rewrite a song to.
We're writing a song. So imagine there's no Disney. It's easy if you try. I like that. No hell below us, above us only sky. So no. Yeah. Let's see. No.
We can replace
no Last Jedi.
It's easy if you try. We don't have to. You see, it's easy if you try. Can be replaced with something Jedi. So, imagine there's no Disney.
And no Last Jedi. Imagine there's no Disney.
That's actually a good one. And no Last Jedi.
And no Last Jedi. And no Last...
No, it would have to be the second lyric. It would have to be above us only sky. So that would be like the conclusion of the actual statement. So you would have...
So tell me what to write and I'll write it. So imagine there's no Disney and then what?
Imagine it's easy if you try.
Okay, so we want to keep the second
Ryan
part.
Johnson.
No Ryan Johnson virtue signal.
No Ryan Johnson to screw us. And no.
Say that again. No
Jedi. No Ryan Johnson to screw us.
So we have to say, because it has to fit the syllables. No Ryan Johnson to screw us. It's hard to fit in there.
It doesn't even say Ryan Johnson. We could just say, and no Johnson's, no.
That's me. You're putting me in there. Cutting me in there with him. That bastard. Son of a bitch.
Oh, the Jensen. Put the feminism in the possessions part. That's what.
No directors.
There's no Disney. It's easy if you try. No Ryan Johnson to screw us.
It's just awkward putting that in
there.
No
Last Jedi.
I'll just put it in for good measure. Ryan Johnson.
Imagine all the fans enjoying Star Wars again. I don't know. have the lyrics subtitles during that song like Disney song sing along. Yeah, with the bouncing ball. Remember the bouncing ball?
Oh yeah, of course, showing you where the word is. Yeah, the lyric is. So the problem is it doesn't. Yeah, imagine all the fans. That's going to come up later because that'll fit in.
Okay.
That's at the end. That's going into. Where does that go? I have to listen to the song to really know like what to fit in there. We should probably be listening to the song because you got the words are going to really be important to fit in with the music as syllabic. That's sorry guys. This is like a 4-hour session to do this. This is a lot of you got to spend a lot. We did good work. We got it started. We got it started though. We got it started. Imagine there's no Disney. It's easy if you try. That's a great first line. I think that's a great first line. Put feminism in the possessions part. I like that. Sentinel says put feminism in the possessions part.
No SJWs to rule us. I don't know. Something. But we got the making of something, guys.
We got to start. We got to start. I mean, I like that. I like that the cadence when it goes up to imagine all the fans escaping to the movie theater, something like that. It's like anyway. It's a lot.
Enjoying like we did. I don't know. Imagine all the fans.
Well, it's funny too because you know that John Lennon would be just like Bono if he was alive today. He would just be like, I don't know what's wrong with all you people. Why don't you just get along? I have billions of dollars. It's just be doing that.
Why isn't anyone doing anything about Africa? We need to go to Africa.
We need to go to. We need to fix all the world's problems. Why can't we do that when I have billions of dollars and I'm not doing a thing?
I want to play my video in a much more whiter room than usual. Can we get a whiter room? Well, I talk about diversity. This isn't white enough. I want to bleach my face.
Apparently, he would get pissed at Yoko Ono for having black hair. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
He would get because he was entering his like crazy phase. He was getting really nuts, and so he would be like pissed that she would have because he wanted everything to be white, and like that's why he got the white piano and all this stuff. And he's like he would be pissed that she'd have black hair, like he'd get angry at her. That's like you're pretty stupid. He did a lot of acid. He did a lot of acid.
Well, they did a lot of medication at the time. Well, all the songs were done doing the medication. Remember they would sit around. They'd sit around just watching. I remember. Did you ever see? They talked about how they came up with the idea for Octopus's Garden. Did you ever see that one? They were watching the Nature Channel together.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, I think this was what's his name's song?
It's Ringo sings
right?
it. Ringo sings it.
Ringo sings it. He was sitting there talking about how they were watching this thing on National Geographic or one of those shows there anyway, and he was remarking how they didn't understand, they didn't know how like the octopuses have these real gardens, And then we were on so much medication at the time, and we just picked up a guitar and just started strumming along in an octopus's garden in a shade, right? And it just sort of came up from that. I thought that was interesting that they were high at the time and watching it. Just you can picture them just watching that show and just going, I can't believe they actually have a garden. No.
Yeah. Like, why don't we make a song about it? Like, it's very much like that.
We've done everything else.
Yeah. And I love that album, man. Abbey Road is a great album.
It's to them, it's their best.
Yeah,
they even admit that Abbey Road is their best.
It's just so epic. It's literally like a movie. That whole album is literally like a movie. It takes you on a journey. You're going through a story. You're going through these experiences together with them. They have these different stories that connect together, and it's a brilliant album. It's like they don't even. It's like I tell my guitar students, yeah, it's this album. Blah blah. They're like, what's an album? Mm-hmm. I don't know what novel. It's like, what is that? What is that? Oh, you mean you listen to music for longer than 2 minutes? Really? Weird.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Anyway,
What music? There's lyrics in music. There's meaning in music.
like,
Yeah.
So
you feel like those are, God damn it, turn off that damn record, you crazy kids. What the hell is a Drake? What's a Bieber?
So did you guys
Who's
want
a Kanye? What?
No, it's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. You're going nuts, man. I was gonna say we had talking about Star Trek Picard briefly. I mean, most of the streams are doing this. They're dedicating their entire stream to talking about Picard. I don't think it deserves to be talked about. I think this is horrible. We're going to just take a couple of minutes and talk about it. I actually purchased the because people were saying good things about it. I was like, okay. And Fatal J and I did a show on it. We talked about it, and it was like, I loved Jean-Luc. I loved Picard growing up as a kid, or at least in the 90s. At that point, I was in high school. And this Star Trek: The Next Generation was a fun show that my family could enjoy together. And all of us are crazy. We're all in different directions. The Star Trek: The Next Generation was one thing that could bring my family together. And we have a huge family. I've got 6 siblings, so there's 7 of us. And then my parents. So it's like all of us getting together to watch Star Trek: The Next Generation together. That's a huge group of people being able to kind of unite on this. And that and the X-Files, for some reason, But the point is that show united us, and it was a family. It was a family friendly show. It was something that was like had ups and downs, peaks and valleys, but something that was valuable to storytelling and valuable for your brain. Right? You had a second to kind of think about, okay, so what if this? What if that? And dude, watching these first few episodes, I actually tried getting back in. I stopped watching and then I got back into it. And I was like, I couldn't watch more than 15 minutes of one episode. The writing was so horrible. It's just, I mean, they're just literally.
I watched the entire series. This was the first time I actually watched an entire series of Star Trek. I watched the whole thing. I don't know why I did. I felt like I was hitting my head with a hammer the whole time. Sorry?
You watched the entire series of Picard?
Yeah, I watched the whole series.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so give us your lowdown, man. Oh my gosh.
Well, my lowdown is in the beginning, the first episode, I thought it had an interesting direction where they started it off. But there was a lot of warning signs. And I first I liked it because I thought they were doing the Kelvin timeline. Remember that I thought they were doing the Kelvin timeline, so which is the what's his name? The one from the movies, where they killed Kirk's parents or father, and they grew up. So they changed the timeline. I thought they were doing the Picard from that timeline, but then when I found out they weren't doing it from that timeline. Hello, DBS, by the way. I felt like, okay, this isn't Star Trek. There is nothing about this that is Star Trek. And yeah, like you, I grew up on Star Trek. I loved Star Trek. Star Trek for me, again, like I've heard a lot of people say this, and I reiterate this, it's we want to get conspiratorial because
let's get nuts. Let's do it.
I've always felt like there was something after The Next Generation, and after that, I always felt like someone was holding back Star Trek, because Star Trek was a show that would. It's like to boldly go where no man has gone before, and I've said that before. Where Star Trek is not about, it's not about going back in time and doing it's not about pessimistic futures. It's not about end of the world prophecies. It's not about the oncoming destruction caused by an unknown alien force. It's always been about exploring and furthering ideas and notions, and trying to use your imagination and intelligence and diplomacy to and it was about a better vision of the future. It's never been about a dystopian future like you created. And that's what pisses me off about this most of all, is you have this grumpy Picard going, I'm going to die soon, I'm just going to drink my Earl Grey tea. And then it's like, and then, I need to ship. And every other word is like, And this is the most jarring part of this show. Is every other word is the F word now. It's just like, "Fuck you, Picard," and it's just like, "Yeah, I'll just shut up now." It's like everyone's telling him to fuck off. Everyone's like, every other show it's like, and it's so jarring because it's always out of the scene. Somebody just has to swear. So whose turn is it to swear? And they flip through this thing. It's like, okay, it's my turn. I'll swear, and it's going to be jarring, and it's going to be out of nowhere and come out of left field. And
what's her name? Dexter? Do you remember Dexter's sister? She was always like, "Well, fuckity fuck, fuckity fuck." Well, it's like over the. But the point. So that just brings me a really quick story. Like when I was a little kid, I remember saying to my dad, "So how come nobody's swearing, Dad?" I was like, "Nobody's swearing in Star Trek. What's going on?" And he was like, "Well, that's because they've looked beyond those things. They've achieved a certain type of like you said, diplomacy, etc. All these, like they've achieved a certain type of intellect where they're able to look beyond those things, and they have a better vocabulary." And I'm like, "Oh wow, that's okay, interesting." Because I was used to swearing, and now so they're trying to reintroduce that stuff. It doesn't work. Once again, these people, they just don't get it. They don't understand what it's really about. They just think it's like, oh, science fiction, future, okay, spaceships. That's all we need to know. They don't get the higher art that Star Trek is. They don't.
Well, they just because to them it's about selling airtime, and they think that the old way of Star Trek isn't going to work, and it's just like, so they don't care. It's like they brought Picard in because Picard has the name that we all love and we all want to see, regardless of whether or not he's even capable of doing half the stuff they want him to do. But in the end, they have, even when what was he said, sheer fucking hubris. That character who said that, she was an admiral talking to like, you're a person of rank in a place where you should even if you had a show that was all swearing, that's an inappropriate play. Someone of that stature doesn't swear in that context because it's inappropriate.
Right.
You don't go into your boss and your boss just says fucking hubris, or in the military, the president's not up there going, "We're gonna fucking put up the fucking wall. It's gonna be imaginable." I mean, maybe, I don't know. It's gonna be a great fucking wall. It's gonna be amazing. We're gonna build it. It's the best fucking wall ever.
Then the next Trump rally.
I'm not gonna do that.
At the next Trump rally, everybody's build the fucking wall.
Yeah. Excuse me. Your journalism fucking sucks. Okay. Like, it does. Like, no one uses that sort of.
Sorry, CNN. Go fuck yourself, CNN.
Yeah. It's like every other, and it's like, oh my god, it's so jarring. And it takes you out of it. So many things take you out of it. Like we have to have a ninja character. What character could we have? Oh, but like someone thought in the board and said, we need a guy who looks like Legolas, but he's like a samurai. Wouldn't that be just like so Star Trekian to have a samurai character? And he's like, they're shooting him with phasers and he's got this sword. And just like, what? What is this?
I mean, they spat in our face when in the first, I think it's the pilot, the first episode of this season of and if I would be surprised if they get a second season, but I think they actually are getting a second season of this stupid piece of trash. But in the very first episode, I mean, he says specifically, "I would love to get my old crew back." But they would. The problem is that they would just jump for it. Like that's the line that Jean-Luc Picard says. The problem is that they would just jump for it. They would be into it. But I don't want that. Like they're literally saying, "We hear you, fans. We know what you want. We are deliberately telling you right now that we're not going to give you it at all." And here's
another example of that. Another example of that. The final episode. Did you watch the final episode?
No, I said I couldn't keep watching. I literally had to just.
Okay. Do I have you guys' permission to ruin it for you guys? I don't know if I want to, but I'm going to do a little spoiler here. But it's not a major spoiler. But there's a point, right, where Will Riker appears like Ex Machina. Not Ex Machina. They kind of called him to come, so it really wasn't Ex Machina. But he comes with piloting a vessel, which they purposefully call out and say it's the flagship of the Federation, and Will Riker is the captain now, and he's makes the point of saying this is the strongest, fastest fleet on ship on the fleet. Okay. And then I'm waiting for it, and I'm like, okay, maybe if they say that Will Riker is the pilot of the what, right? The captain of the Zhang
Enterprise.
The captain of the Zhang, the new flagship of the of the Federation, not the Enterprise, which we were like, come on, just say the word. It's all we hear. Say the word. That's what we want to hear. No, you say, I'm the captain of the Zhang. Yeah, that's what we were waiting all this time for. To hear you say that Will Riker is now the captain of the Zhang, the new flagship of the Enterprise. No, that was all worth it there. Like not the Enterprise. We couldn't bring that. That would just be too on the nose for people to love. That started the franchise.
It's the same.
Just like you guys can go after yourselves.
It's the same thing the same thing. It's the same thing that they did with Luke Skywalker. It's the same concept. They're just like they literally think, oh, it's a white male propaganda, blah, 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 so we have to change it, and they just literally have to change everything, like to make it fit to people who don't watch the show. So it's like they're trying to once again feed this stuff to people who don't like Star Trek, and so therefore you have this tiny pocket of people on Twitter who love it but don't like Star Trek. So it's okay. Get woke, go broke. It's really sad. Yeah, I'm glad I just couldn't watch. I couldn't watch any more, but I only watched the first few episodes. I think I watched through episode 5, and it was just over for me. I was done.
What was sad about it to me the most was that it had potential. It had potential. There was some really good stuff there. Sorry, guys, are we lecturing you? Who's lecturing? Oh, sorry. They're lecturing us. I thought we were lecturing you first. I was like, they're lecturing us. I'm not lecturing anybody. Yeah, that's exactly. They're lecturing us. They're not entertaining us. And even the stuff that they come up with, which they think is thought-provoking, is already been done. The whole premise of the show about it was done on Terminator and multiple other films. Like, the cyborgs are going to wipe out humanity. Like, okay, we've dealt with that before. Star Trek is to boldly go where no whatever person of gone before of color has gone before, right? Not to go and talk about what we've talked about forever.
Yeah.
And and do it worse. That's not what Star Trek is about. And there's only one group of people I think that like this. It's be like,
it's like explosions. Like there's like this ninja character, and
there was like that chick that was like, she was kind of hot. She was like had those pointy ears, and they were like, she was always trying to get with her brother. Remember that?
Star Trek is cool now. Like there's incest. Remember, like Judge that guy was out. Remember that? Like they stuck that knife in his eye and ripped his eye socket. Remember that? That was pretty cool. Yeah, like this is Star Trek, and like I didn't like Star Trek before because it was like boring, a lot of talking. All this blah blah blah. Now it's like cool,
That's who we're loving Star Trek now. Sorry, guys.
Just to let you guys know that I haven't seen any episode of Picard.
You're not missing. You're not missing a thing. You're not missing.
I figured.
Well, apparently they destroyed Q as well. I mean, I saw the promo picture for Q, and they destroyed him. He's just like cucked and destroyed. It's like you're gonna destroy like the best villain, perhaps, of one of the most creative, interesting characters in the history of science fiction television. And I'm not going to watch that. So don't tell us any of that. What happened there? I'm leaving Q the way he was in The Next Generation. That's fine for me. I actually love The Next Generation, and he was great in that. So, screw that. Anyway.
I hope they decanonize all this stuff anyway. So, did you guys want to talk about that H.A.R.P stuff the last thing before we go?
Yeah.
Let's bring up. We were talking about that earthquake stuff. I know you guys love the paranormal, so we're going to end up on some paranormal here, and some paranormal or / conspiracy, because we have the theory that someone's after Ben specifically. They're targeting him.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, apparently they're it's like we don't have. Apparently, we have a lot of earthquakes in Utah, but haven't had a lot lately. And really quickly, since we're talking about conspiracies and all that stuff, just so everybody knows, anybody listening to the chat, dinosaurs are fake. They're not real. Just so you guys know. Okay. Anyway, never such thing as a dinosaur. They're all fake. Okay. All the stuff you see in museums, all of it's made. They're man-made. There's not a single drop of real bones in there. Okay, moving on. Well, I mean, it's interesting. Apparently, can you guys hear me? Okay. All of a sudden, everyone's really quiet.
What? I can't hear you.
We are intrigued with every word that's coming out of your mouth.
You can.
Yeah, we're hanging on every word. Yeah.
I love it. I love it how when you say that, Ray's looking straight at me with her. So good.
Yeah.
She got that sexy look. Like, give me more.
That's why she couldn't train. She was busy in the toilet.
Dude, I would love it if there was some way to pan backwards and she's, sitting over the toilet, and then there's like the TIE fighter, Kylo Ren's TIE fighter is just like banging her from behind.
Wouldn't this have been a better scene? Just picture that scene where she goes down and she sees that mirror, and like she sees 1,000 mirrors. Can you imagine, like, she's taking a leak and she gets up, she stares at the, this is what she's looking at. She sees her reflection in the toilet. She's like a floating turd in the toilet. And now she's like, that's where she gets her big revelation. That she realizes that her character is a big floating turd.
She's licking this toilet because after Kylo Ren used it, and then she decided, I'm going to lick this toilet. Maybe I could get some power out of it.
Oh my gosh!
Luke found out that she left the floater in, and then she said she's not worthy to train.
I guess I have to do roast.
Anybody who doesn't flush. Say it again.
Right.
I said I probably have to do roast Tico next, licking the toilet or something. That's what's trending right now.
Trench run on her, if you catch my drift. Black Hat Cinephile says, Ruin thought the mirror scene was cool, but he forgot to make it mean anything. Yeah, I know. It meant, it was like, yeah, just remember all these, just a bunch of hers, because it's all irrelevant, because you have unlimited potential that can go anywhere. That's what I don't even know. I don't even know. It's funny how we thought it was such an imaginative thing. It's like you were copying Empire Strikes Back the whole time, only doing it way worse. But anyway, all right, Chris. So you guys want to talk about H.A.R.P? EBS, you want to bring up that H.A.R.P stuff you were talking about?
Sure, I'll bring up
the
video, YouTube video with the volume down with the closed captioning.
So really quickly, around 700 earthquakes shake Utah each year, although only about a dozen are big enough to be felt. Most are natural, but humans can cause earthquakes too. Recently in Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas, earthquake frequencies have increased. While you're pulling that up, I'm just reading this. Recently in Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas, earthquake frequencies have increased around deep well-injected sites. There are millions of gallons hydraulic fracturing fluid is pumped deep into the Earth's crust. So I guess they're using hydraulics to induce earthquakes for oil, apparently. But here in Utah, we also have induced earthquakes, and they're sort of the opposite of earthquakes that are induced by fluid injection, and that's because they're related to the extraction of mass. Interesting. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on here. We don't need to go into too depths of that, but just for me, we had a 5.7 like a week and a half ago. And so my building pretty much almost toppled, and it was crazy. And so now we're feeling aftershocks almost every day, and it's pretty freaky. It's pretty scary. So, I might just end up in the ground. We'll see what happens. That's what's happening with me.
So you're going to be in the crack. You're going to find the crack. But I found it weird. This is the real paranormal part of it, was that your hair looked so much nicer after the earthquake. I remember you have two videos, one with you in the car before the earthquake, and you look like you had literally gone through like the war. It's like you just boom, your hair was out like that. You sweat down your. It's like you were in The Last Jedi and you were the final survivor. And then the second one is like, guys, I just came through an earthquake. You had your nice glasses on, and you had like trim and proper haircut. It was like, what happened? What did the earthquake suit you?
My hair is kind of a wild. My hair is kind of a wild card. Sorry, guys. So
It's all good.
and so is that still actually up and running? Because the article that I pulled up was back in 2014 and said that they were actually taking this thing down. About 20 years ago, study of ionosphere. So
they were taking down HARP?
So 2014, there's an article in 2014 says the U.S. Air Force has notified Congress that it intends to shut down HARP, a controversial Alaska-based research facility that studies an energetic and active region of the upper atmosphere, or the ionosphere. Conspiracy theorists are abuzz about the news, given the HARP short for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, in case anybody wants to know what that is. Has long been the center of wild speculation that the program is designed to control the weather, or worse. In 2010, Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez claimed that HARP or a program like it triggered the Haiti earthquake. So, what do you guys think in the chat? Do you think this thing triggered the Haiti earthquake? I mean, from Alaska, I don't know. It's like I don't know. Interesting to think about. I mean, they apparently, according to the article we just read, they can physically induce them. I might have to do a little bit more depth research. Maybe Black Hat Cinephile knows about that. Oil is the final stage.
Says oil is the final.
Go ahead.
Ray.
Okay.
Oil is the final stage of rot. It collects and deposits, and it replenishes.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Well, I mean, I've heard a lot of stuff about the. I've heard a lot of stuff about HARP back in the day. There was a lot of talk, like you said. Even Jesse Ventura, I think, had a documentary thing on it where he talked about, it mind control and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can never know about any of that stuff. Where there was even like where it would implant suggestions in people or create anxiety in people. There was some stuff on that. Again, who knows? That's the whole thing. You can never know about these things. And if they turn it down, maybe because they don't need it, maybe they don't have to. Maybe they could just send out the frequency through your phone. Maybe it's obsolete technology. Maybe they just send out, send out the frequencies through your phone, and they could do the same thing. Who knows? Because that's.
Well, I mean, for whatever it's worth, I mean, Hillary and Bill, the root of all evil, Hillary and Bill Clinton, they benefited big time from the Haitian quake. So, it says here, for the record, the Haitian quake of 2010 was caused by the slippage of a previously unmapped fault along the border of the Caribbean and North American tectonic plates. That's what it says, at least here. So that was a tectonic plates issue that was up there in the Caribbean, apparently. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting to think about. It's like, is someone causing quakes? I don't know. We have no idea. But if they are,
well, I don't think it would be that hard to do. I don't like, even when you talk about weather manipulation and stuff like that. I don't. A lot of people think that it's an impossibility. Like I hear people say, you can't do that. But really, all you have to do is heat up water molecules to change,
right.
You just heat up air particles and air molecules, and you can change the weather pretty quickly. I'm not saying you can create. I remember that when there was a time, I think when George Bush was in power. This was during Hurricane Katrina. Do you remember that? Someone had proven something about microwaves hitting, and like, remember Florida was just being bombarded by hurricane or tornado after tornado. There was like, I think it was around Hurricane Katrina where that was happening, when they were just being bombarded. And there was even one instance where someone was saying that that one of the hurricanes looked like it was going in one direction and did a complete ridiculous turn just to hit Florida, it was like an unnatural turn. And then someone had measured there was like a heat signature that was like a microwave, almost like where it came just before it turned, like as if it was directing it to come to hit Florida, almost like punishment because they voted for Bush again. I don't know. That was like when they thought they rigged the election. Again, everything goes back to the elections. But I remember that at the time. That was when I was watching Coast to Coast on a regular, listening to Coast to Coast on a regular basis.
Invisible
suits. Yeah, it was in Canada. Remember we talked about that in Canada. There was that scientist that had that invisible shield.
Okay.
That they were working on. Remember, I think we talked about that, didn't we? I think we put up the.
It just turns out to be like live action green screen. So they just put on like a green screen suit and somehow they're just kidding.
Yeah. It was interesting because it only worked from straight on, but like if you moved to the side,
right,
it didn't work as well.
So
I remember them talking about that.
I mean, that's interesting to know. We should probably look that up and see. Did you want me to continue reading with this article, or just really quick, or do we care? Does anybody care about this? Do you want me to continue with this article?
I don't know. Go ahead.
It just says
after that we could go into the
yeah. Well, we've been going long enough. I mean, we could just anyway. Sure. I mean, I don't want to keep anybody too long. It's a research program that was designed to analyze the ionosphere. So that's what they said. A lot of people think it's other stuff. So I think it's quite possible that it could be doing that. So anyway, we're done with that.
All right, let's finish. What you got there, DBS? Let's finish with that.
Okay, let me share it again.
Really quickly, Michael Stark says, Ben, stop because Space Force will abduct you. Yeah, so if you guys know, if I disappear and I'm not on YouTube anymore, it's probably because I got swallowed up by an earthquake or Space Force abducted me and put me on the moon. Or just killed me.
Invisible condoms.
Okay. Yeah.
Would that make your penis invisible if you wore an invisible condom? That would be kind of freaky. It's like you don't even tell the woman you have an invisible condom. You just appear like, and they're like, all right, I'm ready to go, babe. And she's like, where's your penis? I'm like, oh no, it's an invisible condom. I swear. Yeah, right. And then she just runs out the house, screaming in horror. You're a eunuch. I knew it. I'm sorry. Let's do this.
What if you could make it so that all the skin off your penis was taken off, so they could just see the Okay, that gets really gross. Sorry, guys.
So the foreskin is invisible.
It's just all the regular skin is just invisible, so that they can just see all the blood vessels. Okay, that's really gross. Sorry, guys.
Nasty. That would just be nasty.
That's really. So apparently it sticks to metal. Just so everybody knows. Apparently the
Captain Jack Sparrow have this flu? This guy looks like Captain Jack Sparrow. Like I don't know why they got this guy.
What? There you go. There's feminism. I have Corona cigars from Dominican Republic, and I'm smoking them during coronavirus. Yeah. You should get like a Corona beer with you too. Get a Corona beer with you as well.
Yeah, Corona beer, Corona cigars. This is how people are going to the grocery store.
I was just there, and nobody's wearing. I mean, according to the guy on the Joe Rogan podcast, the regular masks don't do anything. Like you literally, in order to actually like stop any spread or actual contraction or spread, you literally have to have one of those things that, like, it's it's like a Bane mask. You have to be. Anyway, that's what they said. So.
I don't want any of your coronavirus. Everyone dressed as Bane.
Yeah, that'd be so funny. Just that would be. Dude, I would love it if I got a Bane mask. That'd be so funny. Oh my gosh.
We should be practicing social distancing. So where did this come from, anyways? This video.
China. It's a Chinese virus. China.
Is it
China?
Is it China?
No,
Did they come up with it?
I don't know. It's like you have no idea. Yeah. Where did you got this on Facebook, DBS? This video? Yeah, I don't know.
DBS was infected.
I said a relative in Utah sent me the video.
Oh, that's right.
My mic was muted.
Oh no, it's fine.
Yeah, I got someone sent me something too on my Facebook, like about it, and you never know what it is. You know, like I don't know. I mean, the things that I found out that are pretty pertinent is like it sticks to metal surfaces. You know, I do believe the warm liquid thing that did. What else did it say? Don't make mouth to mouth contact with someone with coronavirus.
No rimming.
That's a good.
No
That's
rimming.
a good one.
Yeah, something like that. So
no licking the damn toilet. That's got to be number one.
The toilet. There was a guy that did that on social media licked the toilet, but he got it. He tested positive. He's in the hospital regretting it.
That's funny. I'm sorry to be cynical. That's actually kind of funny. Sorry, but that's pretty funny. Well, he's probably just trying to get a bunch of views on his YouTube channel or something. But it's like, okay, I guess it was. Yeah, was that worth it? No.
All right, guys. So this is going a little bit long. This was going long. We just want to do a quick one, and it always ends up being a little longer than we thought. But thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we leave?
If anybody hasn't seen my music video yet, I dropped my music video. It's pretty cool. So check it out on my channel. I worked hard on it, so it's only 4 minutes long. Check it out. Give it a vote up if you can. That'd be great. It's, we work hard here on YouTube, and we don't get paid for anything. We just appreciate all of, getting a chance to hang out with everybody, and we get pennies. We get paid in pennies. So thanks, everybody. We love y'all, and I'm just glad to be hanging out with you. Awesome gentlemen. Appreciate all of you so much.
Yeah. And I will continue to make very offensive memes to entertain you all before I get banned by Twitter or Instagram.
I'm looking forward to that Skeletor in the milk, Shane. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try my best, guys, for you guys who requested it. And you gotta help me since you guys requested it. Help me make it go viral, with Skeletor in the milk. But
dude, that will that will go viral. I guarantee you. That'll be really funny.
I'm gonna bite the toilet too. Why not?
You should just be like drinking you should have like a bottle of vodka, and just being or not. Maybe I don't know. That might if you have a bottle.
I'm just like one of you. I'm like a commoner, like you all.
Like just really be insulting.
I'm like all of you, a commoner.
Yeah. Don't you identify with me? That's actually a great idea.
Yes, everyone's gonna do. Look, I'm sitting in a bathtub, just like the rest of you, with milk. Don't you guys all have milk in your bathtub with rose petals?
What do you mean you don't have milk in your grocery store?
Say, I'm one-upping her. I'm eating 2% fat milk. You're one-upping Madonna.
I'll have a cow.
Just have a cow. Just you.
I don't even go to the grocery store because I want to be like the rest of you all and be safe. So I ordered a cow to Amazon.
And milk. Yeah. That'll be in the toilet in Skeletor. Does Skeletor take a bath?
I don't wipe my ass.
All right, guys. We'll leave on that note. One up. And till next time, guys. See you guys later.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Stay safe. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, yeah, I was going to say read.